can I be honest with you for a second? Nobody taught us how to date. Like, think about it. We got sex education. We got told don't talk to strangers. We got the stranger danger speech. And the birds and the bees talk that was so awkward, nobody actually listened. But nobody sat us down and said, hey, here's how to know when a man actually respects you. Here's what it looks like when someone's wasting your time. Here's why you keep ending up in the same situationship with a different face. Nobody said that. So we had to figure it out the hard way. And girls, some of us, myself included, went through some things that were completely avoidable. So today, I'm giving you the lessons I had to learn the hard way. 10 of them, and I'm going to be honest in a way that might sting a little, but only because I genuinely wish someone had told me this years ago. So stay with me because by the end of this, you are going to see dating completely differently. So I want to set the scene real quick. I grew up in a house where nobody really talked about relationships. My parents had their own dynamic. It was what it was. But nobody pulled me aside and gave me a roadmap. So I did what most of us do. I learned from movies, from music, from watching my friends, from experiencing things firsthand. And let me tell you, that curriculum, it failed me multiple times. I've been in a situation I convinced myself were complicated but going somewhere. I've made excuses for people who were showing me exactly who they were. I've cried over men who were not losing a single minute of sleep over me. I've been there. And what I know now, the stuff I'm about to share with you would have saved me so much time, so much energy, so much dignity. These aren't bitter girl lessons. These are clarity lessons. There's a difference. And so let's get into it. Okay, first truth, and this one is going to hit different for a lot of you. Just because you're insanely attracted to someone, does that mean they're good for you? I know, but hear me out because we've been sold this idea that if the chemistry is electric, if your stomach flips when you see his name or on your phone, if the conversation flows effortlessly, then it must be it. This must be real. Girl, that is not love. That is your nervous system reacting, sometimes to something beautiful and sometimes to something that's going to wreck you. Here's the thing, the most chaotic, painful relationships I've ever watched play out started with incredible chemistry, off the charts attraction that I've never felt this before energy, and the healthiest, most solid relationships I've seen started with something quieter, something that grew. Attraction is the door, it's not the house. So next time you feel butterflies, wonderful, notice them and then ask yourself, does this person also have values I respect? Do they communicate well? Do they make me feel safe? Because butterflies with none of that is just anxiety with a cute face. So listen, we have this habit, and I say we because I've done this too, of making excuses for someone's behavior at the very start of dating them. He took 3 days to respond. We say, oh, he's probably busy. He canceled plans last minute. He seemed genuinely sorry though. He's inconsistent, but when he's there, he's amazing. But you don't understand when it's good. It's good. Stop. The beginning of the connection is actually when someone is trying the hardest to impress you. It's the audition period. It's when they're putting their best foot forward. So if their foot includes inconsistency, flakiness, vague communication, or making you feel uncertain about where you stand, that is information, not a test you need to pass, not a problem you need to solve. That's the information. I wish someone had told me this because I spent so much time in early situations trying to figure out how to earn consistency from someone who just wasn't consistent. And the answer was always, you can't. People show you who they are early on, believe them. Okay, be honest with yourself for a second. Have you ever been in a situation where you were spending more energy analyzing the relationship than actually enjoying it? replaying conversations, asking your friends what they think he meant, waiting, wondering, and hoping. Here's a truth that took me an embarrassingly long time to accept. When a man is genuinely interested in you and emotionally available, it's not complicated. He calls, he makes plan, he's clear about wanting to see you, he doesn't leave you guessing. That's it. That's the whole thing. Now, and this is important, this doesn't mean men are simple creatures who never have bad days or periods of stress. They do. Life happens. But consistent, real interest doesn't disappear for weeks at a time and then come back with a, hey, been thinking about you. If you constantly trying to decode someone's behavior, if you feel like you need a translator just to figure out whether he likes you, that confusion is the answer. Clarity is a form of care, and if someone who claims to like you can't offer you that, move accordingly. This might hurt. I'm going to say it gently, but I'm going to say it anyway. You cannot love someone into being emotionally available. You cannot be patient enough, understanding enough, cool enough, low maintenance enough, or supportive enough to make someone's ready for a relationship they're not ready for. I have watched women, brilliant, beautiful, kind women, pour years into men who keep saying, I just need more time, or I'm not in the right place right now, or I don't do labels. And they waited, and they hope, and they made themselves smaller and more accommodating. And eventually that man met someone else and was in a relationship within 3 months. And it wasn't because she wasn't enough, it's because he wasn't choosing her. Here's the thing, when someone tells you they're not ready, believe them. And then ask yourself if you're willing to put your life on hold for a maybe. And emotional unavailability isn't always about timing. Sometimes it's about choice. And the painful truth is someone being unavailable to you doesn't mean they're unavailable forever. It means they're unavailable now, and you deserve someone who is present now. Not potential, but presence. Okay, quick pattern. Interrupt because I want to say something that goes against a lot of dating content out there. Having high standards doesn't automatically protect you. I know, so say with me. We've all heard know your worth and raise your standards. And yes, absolutely. But here's what nobody tells you. Sometimes women have a list of standards that are actually just preferences, height, income, aesthetic status, and they filter hard on those things while completely overlooking how a man actually treats them. I've seen women refuse to date a man who drives a certain car while staying with a man who makes her feel invisible. Standards should be about how you are treated, how you feel in someone's presence, whether your values align, whether there's mutual respect, not just the packaging. And the flip side, self worth isn't about demanding perfections from others. It's about knowing what you will and you will not accept. It's about being able to walk away from something that hurts you without convincing yourself you deserve the pain. Real self worth is quiet. It doesn't need to announce itself. It just guides your choices. When your self worth is solid, you don't need to chase. You don't need to convince. You don't need to perform. You just know what you deserve and you act like it. Can I tell you something? I used to find stable boring. Like a man who called when he said he'd call, who showed up when he said he will show up, who was just solid and consistent and dramatic free. I'd find myself thinking, but is there chemistry? Is there that thinking? And then I'd go back to whatever chaotic, hot and cold situationship was keeping me up at night and wonder why I was so exhausted. Here's the truth nobody glamorizes. Consistency is sexy when you're healed enough to recognize it. That stable man, the one who's predictable in the best way, who makes you feel secure, who doesn't keep you guessing. And that's not boring. That's peace. And when you've been through enough turbulence, you will understand that peace is the most attractive thing in the world. The hot and cold thing, the push pull dynamic, the he's amazing when he's here but he disappears sometimes. That's not passion. That's an anxious attachment loop, and it keeps you hooked because inconsistency actually creates a stronger emotional response than consistent warmth. It's basically psychological conditioning. You are not crazy for feeling addicted to someone who's bad for you, but you can learn to want better. Okay, I'm going to say this with love. A lot of the time, not always, but a lot of the time, we see the red flags. We see them early and we decide to keep going anyway. We tell ourselves he's going through something. It was just one time. He's not like that with me. I don't want to judge too quickly. And look, there's nuance here. Not every imperfection is a red flag. People are human. Growth is real. But there's a difference between giving someone's grace and giving someone a pass on behavior that you know is wrong because you don't want to lose them. And here's the part that's uncomfortable. When things eventually fall apart, and they often do when you ignore enough red flags, there's a version of us that wants to say, I had no idea. But deep down, you knew, you felt it. That gut doesn't lie. It just gets quiet when we really want something to work. Trust your discomfort. Take your own instincts seriously. If something feels off, you're allowed to investigate that feeling before you knee deep and heartbroken. Red flags don't disappear, they just multiply. I want to talk about something for a second. This idea that leaving a relationship or a situationship or whatever label it was is somehow a failure. Like you gave up. Like you couldn't make it work. Can we please retire that thought? Walking away from something that is draining you, disrespecting you, or simply not meeting your needs is not giving up. It's deciding that your peace matters more than your attachment. And I know it doesn't feel that way in the moment because in the moment, walking away feels like loss. You're grieving the person, you're grieving the version of the relationship you wanted it to be. But here's what nobody really talks about: the clarity you feel after walking away from the wrong thing is something else. There's this particular kind of quiet that comes when you stop carrying something that was never yours to carry. You're not going to lose a good thing by having self respect. Good things don't require you to shrink or settle to stay. Repeat that. Good things do not require you to shrink or settle to stay. So if you're holding on to something purely out of fear of being alone, I understand that fear. It's real, but loneliness is temporary. Losing yourself to the wrong relationship can take years to recover from. Choose yourself every time. Alright, this one is maybe the most important truth on this entire list. And I say that knowing all 10 of these matters, but this one is the foundation. The way you treat yourself, talk to yourself, value yourself, and allow yourself to be treated becomes the invisible standard everyone else in your life measures themselves against. If you are deeply insecure in yourself, you don't know it. You will attract people who reinforce that insecurity because it feels familiar. If you constantly abandon your own needs to keep other people comfortable, you will attract people who will let you do exactly that. If you believe someone deep down that you are too much or not enough, you will find people who confirm it. This is not about blame. This is about pattern recognition. The work you do on yourself, learning your triggers, healing what needs healing, building genuine self respect, and a real sense of identity that is not separate from dating. That is the dating work. You cannot receive love you don't believe you deserve. Even if someone gives it to you, you'll find a way to dismiss it, sabotage it, or not trust it. So if you're on a self-growth journey right now, and I think you are because you click on this video, keep going. This is not a distraction from love. That is the preparation for it. And here we are, the last one. I saved this one for the end because I want you to carry it with you. The right person, not a perfect person, but the right person for you will not make you feel like you have to earn their attention. You won't wonder if they like you. You'll know. You won't shrink yourself to be more palatable. You will feel encouraged to take up space. You won't feel like you're always one wrong move away from them pulling back. You feel secure. That doesn't mean there won't be hard conversations. It doesn't mean there won't be misunderstandings or growth edges. Real relationships have friction sometimes. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the baseline, the foundation. You should never be lying awake at 2 a.m. wondering if someone who claims to care about you actually does. You should never be performing is while quietly managing anxiety about someone's feelings for you. And the reason I say the right person won't make question your worth is because it's not even about them being perfect. It's about you finally believing, really believing that you deserve consistency, honesty, and love that's not conditional on you being at your absolute best every single day. Because you do. You are allowed to want a love that feels like rest, not a test. You are allowed to choose peace over potential. You are allowed to expect more. Not because you're demanding, but because you know your value. And the day you really understand that truly in your bones, that's the day everything changes. Not because the right person suddenly appears, though they might, but because you will have become someone who would never accept less. So, those are the 10 truths, not perfect rules, not a guarantee, just what I wish I'd known, what I wish someone had sat me down and told me with love. If any of this hits home, leave a comment. Tell me which one got you. I read them genuinely. And if you have a younger sister, a friend who's going through something, someone who needs to hear this, share this with her. That's the whole reason I make this kind of content. And you deserve to be loved clearly and consistently. Don't settle for anything less. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.